Hey everyone, welcome to this very first video of our JLPT N3 vocabulary series. So now before we jump straight into learning new words, there is one very important thing you need to understand. At the JLPT N3 level, vocabulary is not just about memorizing meanings. Unlike JLPT N5 and JLPT N4, here you must know how to actually use these words in sentence. That means sentence structure, word combination, etc. So before you move ahead, please keep this in mind and stay focused. Okay, all right, let's begin with today's first word. Our first word today is迷います. So it means to lose one's way or to be unable to decide. So here is an example sentence. どの服を買うかまだ迷っています. So what does this mean? Well, in English, it means I can't decide which cloth to buy. So on the screen, you can see the meanings of the individual words used in this sentence. So now, since you are at the JLPT N3 level, so don't try to translate everything word by word. Instead, focus on understanding the sentence structure and how the words come together to express one clear idea. Alright, moving on to the next word. The next word is senpai. So it means our senior, especially in a school, company, or even a social club. So how do you even use senpai in a sentence? So here is an example. 会社の先輩に仕事を教えてもらいました. The English translation is, I was taught my work by a senior at my company. So on the screen, you will see a translation for keywords like 会社, 仕事, and 教える. Now, here is something very important. So pay close attention to the particle uses in this sentence. There is a simple rule you should always remember. So if the sentence ends with もらいました, you must use the particle ni for the person who gives the action. So make sure you remember this rule. I think it is very important for a JLPT exam. Now let's look at the third word. The third word is どのように. It means in what manner or simply how. Let's see how to use this in a sentence. Here is an example. この機械はどのように使いますか? The English translation is, how do you use this machine? Below, you will find the meaning of the words like ikai and tsukaimasu. Now, the fourth word is marude. Its English meaning is exactly like or just like. So let's see an example sentence. 彼はまるで先生のように話します. In English, this means he speaks as if he were a teacher, or simply he speaks like a teacher. On the screen, you can see the translation for words like kare, sensei, and hanashimasu. So one more important point to remember here is marude is often followed by yoni. So this combination appears a lot in Japanese, so make sure to get comfortable using it. Next, we have the word akarui. Akarui means bright, cheerful, or positive, especially when we are talking about person's personality. So let's look at an example sentence. 彼女はとても明るいです. This simply translates to, she is very cheerful. So on the screen, you can see the meanings of words like 彼女 and とても. So here, 明るい is not just about physical brightness, it also describes someone's character. Now in the N5 series, you probably learned father as chichi and mother as haha. However, at this level, we start learning more formal expressions. For father, we use 父親. So let's look at an example sentence. 父親は会社で働いています. This means my father works at a company. Here, 会社 simply means company and 働いています simply means working. Notice the sentence ends with of plus teifam plus imas. So this indicates an ongoing or current state. So meanings the person is currently working. So this pattern is also very important. So make sure you recognize it. Now for mother, we simply add oya after haha and it becomes haha oya. So here is an example sentence. Haha oya wa ie ni imasu. So this means my mother is at home. Now you might be wondering, why don't we just use haha and chichi all the time? The reason is formality. When you are speaking politely, especially to someone senior or in a formal situation, you refer to your parents as chichi-oya and haha-oya. This is a very natural Japanese usage, so it's good to get used to it early. Next, we have the word mizu-mi. It means lake. But be careful, don't confuse it with ike, which means pond. Now let's look at an example sentence. この湖はとてもきれいです. This means this lake is very beautiful, On the screen, you will see the English meaning of totemo and kirei. Now, here is a quick questions for you. Can you guess the kanji written below? So if you know the answer, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Alright, next is mejashimasu. It means to aim for something or to have a goal. Here is an example sentence. Watashi wa issha o mejashimasu. This means I aim to be a doctor. So if you are aiming to be a doctor, then this is exactly how you say it. The meaning of the words like watashi and issha are shown below. This verb is very commonly used when talking about dreams, careers, or future goals. Now next is inochi. Inochi means life. So let's see how we use it in sentence. Inochi wa totemo taishitsu desu. This means life is very important. You may also hear phrases like inochi o kakete kimi o mamoru. This means even if it costs my life, I will protect you. You usually hear this kind of expressions in movie or anime. It's a very powerful word and it is used in a lot of real Japanese. In Japan, people often bow as a form of greeting. So in Japanese, the bowing is called ojigi. Let's see an example sentence. Nihon de wa ojigi o shimasu. So the English meaning is, in Japan, people bow. This is a very common cultural expression, so it's good to remember both the words and its uses. Next, we have ippai. Ippai means a lot or many. For example, you can say a sentence like, I have a lot of work. Now, be careful here. Don't confuse with ippai, which means one cup or one glass. The pronunciation is same, but the meaning depends on the context. Next is donna ni. Donna ni means no matter how. Let's look at an example sentence. Donna ni isogashikute mo mainichi benkyou shimasu. The English translation is, no matter how busy I am, I study every day. So here is an important point. Donna ni is often followed by temo. So this pattern is extremely common, so make sure you recognize it. The next word is suisenjo. So it means a letter of recommendation. The kanji here is a bit complex, and for JLPT exam, so you don't need to memorize the kanji. Knowing the hiragana form is enough. However, in a real life Japan, you will often need to recommendation letters from your teachers, professors, or from even doctors. So here is an example sentence. Suisenjo o moraimashita. This means I received a letter of recommendation. The next is rippana. So rippana means admirable, fine, or respectable. Here is a simple sentence. Kare wa rippana hito desu. This means he is an admirable person. Next is ketten. It means weak point or drawback. So let's look at an example sentence. Kono mise no ketten wa takai koto desu. This means the weak point of this shop is that it is expensive. Now a quick clarification here. The takai means high in price, not physically tall. So if a shop were located in a high-rise building with a nice view, that wouldn't be a ketten. So always understand takai here is as expensive based on the context. Next is orei. Orei means thanks or gratitude. In a sentence, you can say orei o iimasu. This means I express my gratitude. This is a polite and natural expression used in everyday Japanese. Next is pointo. This comes directly from the English word point. It refers to the key point, main ideas, or important part of something. For example, kono hanashi no pointo wa koko desu. This means the key point of this talk is here. So it's very useful for explanations and presentations. The next is naiyo. Naiyo simply means content. So here is an example sentence. Kono hanashi no naiyo wa koko desu. This means the content of this talk is here. You will often see this word used in formal expressions, lectures, and documents. Finally, we have聞き取ります. The verb is a combination of 聞きます, which means to listen, and 取ります, which means to grasp or to understand. So together, it becomes to hear and understand clearly. So here is an example sentence. Sensei no hanashi o 聞き取ります. This means I listen to and understand what the teacher says. This verb is especially important for listening comprehension, so remember it well. Next, we have hyogen. Hyogen means expression or a way of saying something. You can use it in a sentence like この言い方はいい表現です. The English meaning is, this is a good and appropriate way of saying it. Our next word is bubun. Bubun simply means part. So here is an example sentence. この部分は大切です. This means this part is important. Now, many often confuse bubun and buhin. Bubun refers to a general part of something, while buhin refers particularly to a machine part or component. So make sure they are used in very different contexts. The next is simin. Simin means citizens, and it also refers to the residents of a particular city. So here is a simple example sentence. Simin wa taishitsu desu. This means citizens are important. You will often hear this in news, public announcements, and formal discussions. Next, we have Shougakukin. This means scholarship, especially one you receive from college or an organization. So here is an example sentence. Watashi wa shougakukin o moraimashita. This means I received a scholarship. Next is dento tekina. It means traditional. You can use it in sentences like Kono machi wa dento teki desu. This means this town is traditional. You can also use expressions like dento tekina mono for traditional things and dento tekina bunka for traditional culture. Next we have jissai ni. This means actually or in reality. Here is an example sentence. Jissai ni okonatte mimasu. This means I will actually go and see. One important point to remember here, when writing mimasu, do not use kanji in this expression. It's written in hiragana, not kanji. Next is intonation. This means intonation or a tone of speech. You can use it in sentences like intonation wa taishitsu desu. This means intonation is important. So this is especially important when speaking Japanese naturally. Next is souyu. It means to say so. So here is an example sentence. Kare wa sou iimashita. This means he said so. Next is fudan. Fudan simply means normally or usually. So here is an example sentence. Watashi wa fudan ie de benkyou shimasu. This means I usually study at home. This word is commonly used when talking about daily habits. And finally, our last word is nantoka. Nantoka means somehow. You can use it in a sentence like nantoka wakarimashita. This means I somehow understood. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.